Good day. This is some of the most wonderful weather that I am experiencing. Yesterday was one of the most glorious weather days that I can remember. Just one of those wonderful days. I know this sounds like one of these typical old folks stories. When you get older, people always say, well, the weather is okay. Yeah. And I always wondered as a kid, it's like, why are these people talking about the weather all the time? My God, they talk about the weather. Okay. Well, I don't talk about it for too long, but it is very nice. And having grown up in Florida, we never had any kind of seasonal anything. Speaking of which, I had a friend of mine who, when the pandemic and everything happened, he left. I think he's a New Yorker. Moved to Florida, and I said, be careful. You're going to find out. It's a wonderful place, don't get me wrong. But it's boring. And he said, oh, no, I've had it. No. Remember when everybody was saying, we're getting up, we're moving? I said, okay. But just remember, saying like, well, you want to go to the Publix? We'll go to Publix. You want to play golf all day? Maybe you like that. Cost of living is a lot cheaper. No state income tax for sure. But you're going from New York to Florida. You're going to notice something. There's going to be a kind of a, like this. Anyway, sure enough, I spoke with him yesterday, and he turned to his wife and said, I think we want to move back. I said, see, I told you. It's nice, it's wonderful, but it's just, ugh. And as Alex Forrest, I believe, said in Fatal Attraction, Glenn Close said, I will not be ignored. Well, I will not be bored. All right, enough about that. Next, let me talk to you about today's subject. I love this epistemology and knowledge and truth and disinformation, data information, the notion of what is and isn't. Think about how we categorize truth. Propaganda, lies, exaggeration. So many ways, so many words that we use to explain various, I don't know what the word is. This truth, lie, truth, fact. Think about the words truth, fact, occurrence, history, versus lie, distortion. I saw yesterday for the umpteenth time, don't ask me why, I'm seeing the umpteenth story about Willie Nelson's funeral, and he's not dead. And they're talking about this. We were crushed to learn. I said, but he's not dead. How about Jerry Lee Lewis? He was dead. He wasn't dead. There was somebody else recently who died. Somebody said he died, but he didn't die. Now, what is that? Well, that's obviously not true, but is that a lie? We've been through this before, and I will say it again. A lie is a misrepresentation of fact with the intent to deceive. That's it. I don't think anybody deliberately went out of their way to say, hey, let's deceive people. Maybe they did. I don't know. But we have all these Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, kids. So I don't know where I left off. There we go. What's the matter, honey?
My stuff just all disappeared. I was doing.
What do you... I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. All right.
Something must have been refreshed on your end or something.
Could you repeat the part after "Let's begin"? I like it. I know. There is something terrible about that. It's like when you see somebody who all of a sudden it freezes. Well, what I was talking about was I don't know where I started or left off. I'll do the best I can. But we're talking about how people view things very differently. And I saw something the other day that said, so-and-so said, I lost 100 pounds getting off of a vegan diet. And the person he was talking to said, that's good. That must be healthier because you lost weight. So a friend of mine said, well, would you look at that? What do you think about this? I said, well, what do you think? Because he doesn't like vegans and that sort of thing. Now, I said to a friend, let me explain something to you. I said, I used to do the Atkins diet. I used to go to Dr. Atkins personally. He used to be on 53rd. I think he was across from like that what's that place called? Shunli Palace or is it China? Huh?
55th.
Yeah, 55th. I used to go to him personally. I lost about 89 pounds. True. I used to eat butter, bacon, meat, steak, lobster. It was lost a lot of weight. A lot of weight. This is true. I'm not just saying this. I mean, I lost a lot of weight. Is that good for you? I ask you, is that good? Do you think that's good? I lost weight. What's the test for that? Anybody here involved in fasting? Fasting was a big deal a while back. Oh, it was fantastic. Remember that? And what's interesting is that nobody will research this. They will just take it and they'll sit back in their chair and they'll respond so long as there's nothing to research. They won't read anything. They'll just... And if you lose weight, we always say that's a good thing. Doesn't that make sense? Doesn't that make sense? And the people that you meet, what you hear is incredible. Just eliminate sugar. What does that mean? I don't know. I just say that. Well, as long as it's balanced. What is balanced? I don't know. Do you want to... fasting is good. When do you fast? Well, I fast once a week. Really? Why is that good? Well, that's not good for you. Why is that? Well, it's not good. And they just sit back and they just say things. Now, is this truth, ignorance, misinformation, disinformation, mythology? What do you call that? You will never see anything. Someone says, fasting does work for weight loss. Yes. Do you know why? Very, very quick. Do you know why fasting works for weight loss? Anybody have any clue? Anybody want to take a hint? Just a guess. Why would fasting, the elimination or the reduction of calories over a particular period of time, why would that lead itself to weight loss? Why do you think? Probably the calorie part? Exactly. So is it fasting or is it not eating as much? Well, it's not eating as much. But I call it fasting. Now, wait a minute, hold it. And I'm telling you, it's the greatest. And I just sit back and say, really? So I lost weight under the Atkins diet. I think I told you that. I'm not sure if I was cut off then. The Atkins diet. 89 pounds at one point. I went to Dr. Atkins. I lost that. Is that good for you? Is that a good diet? Well, I lost weight. Is that a good sign? Is losing weight a good sign? I guess. Is gaining weight a bad sign? Is gaining weight bad? You see what we're doing here? I'm asking all these questions, and nobody will research it. They will just answer you. Well, sometimes, yes. Excuse me, where do you say that from? Oh, I don't know. I just make that up. So we're going to be talking about this. This is a fascinating subject to me. The whole notion of food, because everybody is, in one way or another, an expert. And one of the things that's so wonderful about being an expert is that we, in this country in particular, are very, very happy, very lucky to be experts in this because we have food. It's a wonderful thing. It's almost like it's a given. You know what I mean? It's just a given. There's always going to be food. We got to figure out what's the best thing to do. Should I lay off this? Should I lay off this? Well, one day, if it becomes more and more obvious that food shortages are ahead, somebody may be able to do that for you. One day you will certainly not have the option of saying, well, let's see, let's go to the store. It's closed. Why is that? I don't know. Food shortages, supply chain, whatever. That's why My Patriot Supply is right now going the extra mile to make their emergency food affordable. Emergency food. It's almost hard for people to say that. Emergency here in this country? Yes, in this country. Now they're talking about taking $250 off their 3-month emergency food kit, which is the minimum your family should have. This is 2,000 calories a day. Delicious, easy to make breakfast, lunches, dinners, drinks, and snacks. You should get one for each member of your family while you're able to save $250 during this timely sale, which will end soon. Remember, My Patriot Supply is the nation's largest preparedness company with millions of families already protected. These 3-month food kits are in stock and ready to go, and they ship fast and free, and they arrived in unmarked boxes for your privacy. So go to preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com, because those who know what's coming are using today to prepare. Are you? preparewithlionel.com. Somebody asked me, well, it was so funny when I said, do you understand this notion of emergency food? He goes, yes, but I tend to be, excuse me, let me explain this to you. This is emergency. And I am telling you right now, look at me. If there is emergency food that I ever need because we have no food, because there is an emergency, and it's either, let's see, starve. I will eat beef tallow. I will eat lard, whatever you want to do. In an emergency, yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Hence the term emergency. Food is still fascinating. We talk about it all the time. Do you know how many diets are out there? Now make sure you eat the white food. Don't eat white. Don't eat. There is an ongoing debate right now in the Whole Foods between Greger and McDougall, the potato fight. McDougall calls it potatoes. Potato. He says, not potatoes, yellow potato, baked potato, sweet potato. Eat your starches in your potato. And Greger is saying, well, that glycemic index might be. He even says things like, well, you know, actually, potato skins that are fried or baked are actually carcinogenic. What? Oh, it's wild. Have you ever talked to raw vegan, raw plant-based? They don't want to have anything to do with anybody else. And the vegans, the whole foods, don't have anything to do with the vegetarians. And the vegetarians don't have anything to do with the omnivores. And the omnivores, well, they don't want to have anything to do with these people. And you get into these groups of people. It is the most incredible thing in the world. But here's my point. And I'm not here to argue whatever it's a free country. Last time I checked. But look at how we know. Where do we know these things? Somebody uses a term, detox. Detox. What does that word mean? Do me a favor. Ask a question. This is the opposite rules of cross-examination. But if you ever at somebody's home, do this. Jerry, you mentioned something before. What was it? Oh, yes, detox. Jerry, if anybody would know this, you would. What exactly is detox? Define it. And this is what you're going to get. Well, it's the removal of toxins, right? Yeah, okay. But you're telling me what the word detox means, not what you're talking about. And nobody has read word number 1 about it. They have no idea. They just heard this. And then they say, another one too is, I have a cleanse. I'm taking a cleanse. You mean, no, not that. It's cleanse. This detoxes the liver. Really? Yes. How do you know that? So all of this stuff, your liver, which is a purifying organ, in essence, its whole notion is to detoxify. So anyway, people just make stuff up. It sounds good. You remember years ago when people started putting natural, light, one of the greatest, listen, there have been some, brilliant moves in terms of advertising. One of them is trail mix. Trail mix. Doesn't that sound healthy? It's not candy. I'm eating it on a trail. Oh, okay. Sounds very rustic, like a wagon train. Or out in the woods in the trail. It sounds good. It's candy. It's nuts and got some yogurt balls and some little fruit. And No. It's trail mix. Stand corrected, sir. Oh, yes. And it's also better. Well, I've got a smoothie. A smoothie, huh? Yes. Do you think it's better to eat your vegetables or grind them up? Do you think it's better to eat a bunch of kale or put it into a blender and then drink it so it hits you like that? What do you think's better? People, if they were honest, would say, I never thought of it. It just seemed intuitively better, doesn't it? Yes, of course it does. Does this sound better? Hey, you mean to tell me I can have 24 pounds of vegetables in a glass? Let me warn you, do not go on any long distance driving or do any unnecessary scuba work, okay? But believe me, I've spent so much time reading this. You should see the debate. The debate. Have you ever seen Esselstyn on facultative bacteria? You ever heard this one? This is the best one. It's about smoothies. Listen to this one. This is Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn. And in the world of plant-based, he's like one of the gods. He has been shown the first one ever to reverse cardiac disease by virtue of diet alone. True. And listen to what he writes. Avoid smoothies. When the fiber is pureed, it is not chewed and does not have the opportunity to mix with the facultative anaerobic bacteria which reside in the crypts and grooves of your tongue. These bacteria are capable of reducing the nitrates in green leafy vegetables to nitrites in the mouth. when nitrites are swallowed, they are further reduced by gastric acid to nitric oxide, which may now enter the nitric oxide pool. Furthermore, when chewing fruit, the fructose is bound to fiber, and absorption is safe and slow. On the other hand, when fruit is blenderized, he writes, the fructose is separated from the fiber, and the absorption is very rapid through the stomach. This rapid absorption tends to injure the liver, glycates protein, and injures the endothelial cells. What? Wait a minute. What? Try that one on for size. Say that at a smoothie bar. Go ahead. What? How can this be? Who's right? Is this misinformation? That information? Disinformation? What is it? Is it a lie? Is it just wrong? Is it two competing theories? Then you've got Gregor who says, oh no, sometimes the only way to unlock these things is to grind them. Other times you say, well, you should really cook that first. No, that should be raw. Well, yeah, but that's still... Don't eat beans raw. No way. Oh my God. Trust me when I tell you this. One of the most important things I've ever learned in my life, you would think food and eating, this has got to be understood. Go to your doctor and bring this up. He'll look at you like, what are you talking about? Smoothies. Look, I got a pad here. I've got to write a drug down. I don't get reimbursed by insurance. Now, what's wrong with you? Smoothies. Look at me. Do I look like I drink smoothies? You can't believe it. And the reason why I'm telling you this is not to argue the point, but listen to what people say. You will never see people say, I don't know. I do not know this. Let me research. Let me get back with you. I think this is what I believe. No. You've got midterms coming up. People talk about the issues. They talk about history. They talk about politics. They talk about sports. They talk about everything in this authoritative, absolute, apodictic world of I don't know what it is, but they speak with such a certitude. How do you know what you know? How? I am telling you right now, I live my life like a candle in the wind. I live not believing or knowing anything. Pretend everything you hear is the first time you've heard it. Good luck with that one. You have never, ever, to start off, talk about food and you will be amazed. Because you've never done this. I know you haven't. Most people don't care. They just eat it and that's fine. I understand it. But they swear they do. We all have parents, I'm convinced, I think it was big in the 50s and 60s, who truly believe that when you eat a large meal and you get into any kind of body of water and you have eaten and you're swimming, that the energy, the blood, the oxygen bearing nutrients will go from the what am I trying to say? From your arms and your legs to your viscera, where they will be used for digestion, and you will what? Cramp. You will cramp, even if you're in 3 feet of water. You will cramp and sink to the bottom, and you can't go swimming. And they used to say this, and we joke about it now. Bill Cosby did a routine. Everybody has it. And every father swore that if you swim, it's incredible. I used to hear people say one time, when I was a kid, I'll never forget this. There was somebody that we knew who was a bodybuilder. Well, it wasn't really a bodybuilder, but he was a weightlifter. And really, this was serious. I mean, nobody did this. And they said, As soon as the guy left, of course. You know, later on, if you don't work out, that muscle turns to fat. I said, how is muscle going to turn? They're two completely different things. He might get fat by virtue of maybe he's not exercising, but doesn't muscle atrophy? I was a kid. No. And why did the person do this? Why? The real reason, and this is what you have to remember, he didn't like the fact that this person spent so much time working out. And he kind of was a little jealous. So what he did was he had to say, well, don't worry. As soon as he stopped, turns to fat. Have you ever heard people say this? Well, you know, alcohol turns to sugar. What? Oh, yeah. Alcohol is what? It's distilled spirit. There's no carbohydrates. How does that turn into? Well, it does. It does. I used to talk to people about carbohydrates during the Atkins days. I had the hardest time explaining carbohydrate. What's that? Carbohydrate? Yeah, carbs. Huh? So now that's okay. That's obviously okay. And now you tell somebody this is true story. A friend asked me, he says, what exactly is whole food, or whole plant-based rather? What does that mean? I said, well, and I remember something Paul McCartney said. He said, by the way, vegan is more like a lifestyle, no leather, no animal cruelty or torture, which I stay away from as much as possible. Animal torture, I really, really put my foot down when it comes to torturing animals. Eating them, no problem, because after all, they were made to be consumed. That's why they're there. You know that. Everybody knows that. Anyway, so I remember Paul McCartney said, I don't eat anything with a face. I thought, oh, that's clever. And a friend of mine, he's from the Bronx, as a matter of fact. He says, I said, yeah. And he goes, really? And one time I got a call. Out of the blue. I didn't think you had cell phone or caller ID. I got the hello. I hear this. Clams. What about clams? I said, who is this? Oh, yeah. He goes, what about clams? What about clams? What is this? Some kind of a code? Is this some illicit deal you're doing? He goes, no, you said, oh, with the face. Yeah. I said, well, yeah, that's a good point. But no, that doesn't matter. That's protein too. Doesn't have a face. Okay, fine. Oysters don't either. There you go. So there's this, it's this, I've never seen anything like it. So the best one is this, as I was saying before, I think before I lost the sound or bumped something, Thanksgiving's coming up. Hey, can you come over? Yeah. Can you have that? Oh, here we go, yeah. Can you have chicken? No, I don't, it's not that I can't, no, you eat what you want. No. I want to get you something. I want to get something for you. I want to get something for you. No. You eat fish? I don't eat. Oh, okay. No, it's no problem. Tuna salad? They just don't get it. I don't understand. Pumpkin pie? You like that? That's got pumpkins in it, right? That's good, huh? But there's eggs in there. So what? I don't eat eggs. What? And there's dairy? You don't eat, and then you're cross-examined. You don't what? You don't eat dairy. Why? And then it's like, forget it. Now, if you're kosher, if you keep kosher, if you're a Jew or you're Muslim, nobody ever, say no more. Say no more. Can you have this? No. It's shh, don't say anything. Don't say anything. We respect you. Good. It's religion, no problem. If you elect to do it, forget it. You're a freak. I'm telling you. I am telling you. And I'm not even going to tell you the absolute, one of the worst battles ever is regarding the notion of olive oil. And oh my God. People just do not even want to know you. Forget any kind of political any kind of fallout from that. Nothing. They have this idea in their mind that is just one of these. I'm not even going to go through this. And eggs, the Harvard nurses study, I'm not even going to tell you that. I'm not even going to tell you that. You just don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it. Now let me go back to what I said. How do you know what you know? What's real and what's not? What's true and what's not? Can you be a little bit off? A little bit off? What if it's mostly correct? What if it's mostly wrong? Let's have we have a scale, and we take this thing. You take this fact, and you put it there, okay? Okay. Who believes that Christopher Columbus traveled the world to see, like when they say, if the world was round? It's spherical. Round is two-dimensional, but that's okay. Spherical. How many times have you heard this, right? This is what Christopher Columbus. They say this. 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Okay, fine. Now, even though 2,000 years before, Socrates, Eratosthenes, everybody, they had globes, still, we have this thing called history. And don't forget, what Tolstoy said, history would be a wonderful thing if only it were true, and we have this thing. Now, if I tell you this, is that wrong? Is it misinformation? Is it disinformation? Is it a lie? Is it a misapplication? What is it? And should it be said? This is not true, but we say it, and we've said it for so long. I have a friend of mine who says, "Anyways." I said, "What? Anyways? Anyways?" No, it's anyway. No, it's, and you read it and it says, well, acceptable. How about irregardless? And the funniest thing is, a friend of mine said, well, irregarding the matter at hand. And somebody said, what? Well, you say irregardless, yeah, and you think that's a word. And he says, it's acceptable. It's not preferred. Okay. Well, if irregardless is okay, then you can say irregarding. No, that's not okay. Well, why not? And then we get into this whole thing about, so tell me, what is the truth? Is it correct? Is it not? If it's not correct, is it somehow correct or allowed by virtue of the fact that so many people say it? We say things. How many have heard of the full moon phenomenon? Show of hands. Who? Anybody? That when there's a full moon, they have proved, this is the way it goes, they've proved that there's more 911 calls, more emergency room visits. The police ask anybody who is either a first responder or a cop, if it's a full moon, forget it. Who's heard that? Of course you've heard that. How many? Show of hands. Have you heard this? It's axiomatic. It's absolute. There's no doubt. They say this. They say this without any doubt. Yes, they've proved it. Who are they? I don't know. The people who prove stuff, they prove it, whatever they prove. You've heard this. You got this? You've heard this. And even though some people tell you, the moon, in terms of gravitational effect, the sun is far more critical. And people will tell you why. Don't you understand? The moon controls the tides. Actually, the sun too, but don't say. The moon controls the tides. And the body is 90, and then you make up a percentage. Always in the high 90. And 97% water. Your body is 97% water. Okay? So when the full moon is out, it affects the tides and your brain and makes you crazy. All of us? Well, not all of us, but who? The people. You mean criminals? It makes criminals? Well, whatever. So people who have a tendency to be criminal in behavior, they tend to be more crazy? Yeah. But it doesn't make a normal person crazy. Well, no, it doesn't. No, it's not like lycanthropy where you're a werewolf. No. So what you're saying is that of a select group of people who have a criminal predisposition or the predisposition for some kind of whatever behavior, you're saying that it's even more so because, really? That's interesting. Now, the moon does not affect closed systems, like tubs of water, glasses of water, lakes. It's oceans. Well, the body is a closed system. All of the fluid, the water, is closed. It's not subject to tidal movings, or whatever it is. And, to be fair, the moon is always full and it's always there. And you tend to notice this at night. You notice a full moon or a whatever moon at night when most of the crime occurs anyway. So when you just keep, and I do not know if anybody kept, it's just, but we say it. Is it true? Does it matter? Is this a lie? Is it epistemologically sound? How do you know that? You repeat it. You don't know. You've never done research. You've just heard this. And then we say, yeah, but it's kind of innocent. But it's wrong. Or it's not justifiable. Or it's not provable. Or it's not, well, whatever. It doesn't matter. How do you know what you know? And we can do this with everything. And I mean everything. And there isn't a day that goes by where I think to myself, oh my God, I had no idea that this thing that I was saying had no factual basis, or that I don't know why I'm saying that. I don't know where I heard this from, but I'm saying it. Doesn't mean you're necessarily a bad person. Doesn't mean you're a liar. Doesn't mean anything. It just means you're human. Think about that. Now let's talk about sleeping. You ever heard people talk about, you sleep on your side or your back? What does it mean? I don't know. Whatever. Sleep. Don't eat before you sleep. And then they talk about don't eat, different things about sleeping. How do you sleep? Whatever. We have these various old wives' tales about certain foods will give you bad dreams. And remember the Gomer Pyle episode with Welsh Rarebit? Remember that one? Where he went crazy. He was a somnambulist. Not only that, he went sleepwalking. Well, I can tell you something which is absolutely true, that nobody will ever, ever, ever deny. And that is the incredible sales going on right now with My Pillow. That's right, My Pillow, or Pillow. Have you heard that? Some people say pillow versus pillow, milk versus milk. Depending upon where you are, it's a regional type of thing. But My Pillow, pill, jagged little pill, not jagged little pell, like Claiborne Pell, but I digress. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, or MyPillow.com/Lionel. Check out, just go, look at this. The biggest bed sheet sale ever. In the history of humankind ever. Am I exaggerating? I don't think so. Giza sheet sets as low as $29.99. My Pillow percale sheet sets as low as $49.98. Don't forget the My Slippers and My Sandals and My Pillow towel sets. My Pillows themselves as low as $19.88. My Pillow mattresses. My towel sale of the year. Which year? This year. Very important. The sale of 1948 would make no sense. My Pillow plush blankets, beach towels, sleep systems, mattress toppers, down blankets, sleep. I go on and on. MyPillow.com. Promo code Lionel. And if you insist upon a telephone number, that is completely within your right. And that number would be 800-645-4965. That's 800-645-4965. MyPillow.com. Sign up right now. Promo code Lionel. Get a free gift. I love words. I love knowledge. I love the systems of knowledge. Oh, the likes. Oh, and more importantly, forget the likes, honey. What are you going to do? We got some, wait till you hear this stuff we got to announce about Mrs. L, which we're going to formalize that maybe tomorrow, remind me. But also on January the 14th. Do you know this? January the 14th here in New York City. And the City. I'm going to be doing my return visit to the cutting room. But the special guest this time is you. There is not anyone, anywhere who does this immersive type of... It's brand new.
Explain it there at the show.
You are the show. We have a Q&A. We have an interchange. It's not me coming up and I do this canned thing which I've got planned, which everybody does. I'm sorry to say this, and I don't mean to speak ill of anyone, but a canned routine, please stop it. This changes from minute to minute. I don't know what you're going to ask. I don't know what you're going to say, but it is this. What would you call this? What would you call this? Give and take, symbiotic, not parasitic, symbiotic, give and take. You ask a question. I think about what January of 2023, it's just a couple of months away. Do you know what we're going to have to talk about then? This thing changes from day to day. And believe me, the cutting room is one of the best venues around. Great food, but a great section. I'm going to bring the guitar, you and me. I'm going to craft some songs that, of course, cannot be played on any musical platform, as for reasons you will see immediately. But then it's you and me and a dog named Boo, traveling and living off the land. So that's January the 14th, right there. Tickets go to, well, you can go to my website. Also I've got a brand new, what am I trying to say? A brand new newsletter going out today. Are you signed up for that? Have you done this? Oh, this is a beaut. I love this. I enjoy this immensely. This is the brand new Lionel Nation newsletter. And like I said, coming up, we've got some big stuff to announce about Mrs. L. And that's it. So that's it, my friend. I'm going to thank you. Don't forget Lynn's Warriors on YouTube. Lynn's Warriors. Go and listen to what the new word that is out to protect our kids. Also, please like this video. Please subscribe. Tell your friends. We are in a battle for algorithms, my friend. Don't forget preparewithlionel.com and mypillow.com. Promo code Lionel. All right. Thank you so much for being not who you are, but what you appear to be. We'll see you tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel, 9 a.m. Eastern time. And until then, don't forget these holy words. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.